Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Thursday, the 15th of August 2024. In today's Millwall news, we have this from the London News Online.co.uk, which is the South London Press's online website. Millwall boss reckons attacker really went under the radar last season after goal return in Championship opener. Neil Harris reckons Duncan Watmore's importance to Millwall in their last Championship campaign really went under the radar after the former Middlesbrough and Sunderland attackers double in last weekend's 3-2 loss to Watford. Watmore produced two excellent finishes against the Hornets. The 30-year-old, who is in his final year of his Den deal, has netted 10 times in 53 appearances for the Lions and collected 3 assists. Watmore chipped in with important goals after Harris returned as head coach in February, netting in wins over Cardiff and Sunderland as well as a 1-1 draw against West Brom. Duncan, he's been excellent in pre-season, Harris told the South London Press. I thought he really went under the radar last season, during my time in his ability to give us something different, to give us that spark. He gave us a bit of class, a bit of composure and quality in the final third. And he's got that goal scoring moment in him. I like my wide players to be able to get into the penalty area and not just be creative but score a goal as well. It's important we have a goal threat from wide area in our team. My teams have had that in the past with Jed and Aidan, in particular at Millwall, and someone like Harry Wilson at Cardiff. And me and Duncan have spoken a lot over the summer about individual targets for him and trying to set targets to complete a certain amount of games, sub-appearances and goals. And that's just something between me and Duncan and to try and plan for the season. And he's going to be an important player for us, but also really respectful to try and keep him fit and managing to get the best out of him for as long as we can this season. Indeed. Now moving on to this from the southernnews.co.uk, who obviously publish on a Thursday, so if you see it in your local news agents, do pick up a copy, well worth a read. Harris demands more shutouts from Millwall keepers. Neil Harris wants more clean sheets after Liam Roberts produced a welcome shutout during Tuesday's 1-1 Carabao Cup success at Fratton Park. The Lions made 6 changes to the lineup against Portsmouth, a decision which paid off thanks to Romain Esse's winner, which set up a home tie with Leyton Orient. Among the half-dozen fresh faces on the south coast was keeper Roberts, who enjoyed a relatively hassle-free evening in his first game since joining the Lions this summer from Middlesbrough. I didn't really have a lot to do, said Harris. I thought our defensive unit in front of him was excellent. The whole team in front of him was excellent as a defensive unit, and I thought his kicking was tremendous, as was Lucas Jenkinson's kicking at the weekend as well. And I'm pleased for the goalkeeping department that we've got our first clean sheet of the season, because for us to be successful as we were last season, then we're going to need a lot of them. Indeed, it is the Millwall way, it seems, quite recently, to start with a clean sheet and then score 1 goal, and to try and win every game 1-0. And it has been an Achilles heel of us that if we don't do that, if we concede a goal, we struggle to score the 2 goals to then win a game. It's not something. There was like some stat where we haven't come back from a losing position in like a number of years. It was bizarre, and then we finally did do it, and it was a talking point, which shouldn't be the case. Like, it really shouldn't. So hopefully that can end now. Moving on to this, speaking of individual targets for Duncan Watmore, we have this from the southernnews.co.uk. Individual targets of little concern to Millwall star. So George Honeyman, he doesn't like the individual targets apparently. So George Honeyman isn't chasing personal glory when it comes to setting goal targets this season. The 29-year-old brings a wealth of experience to the current squad, having played more than 270 senior games for Sunderland, Hull and Millwall. Honeyman has scored 23 goals during that spell and can consider himself seriously unfortunate not to have added to that tally both at Watford and Portsmouth this week. The man from the North East is currently playing in the number 10 role for Neil Harris' side, something he is clearly enjoying. But the only thing that matters to the Lions star is making sure Millwall keep winning games as opposed to improving his own scoring stats. Honeyman said, I used to quite like being big on setting goals and targets for myself, and the gaffer's been quite honest with me that I'm going to probably be playing quite a number of positions. Like, if I knew where I was going to play as a number 10 all season, I would want close to double figures with goals and assists. Maybe double figures goals and assists is a bit ambitious, but I've been quite good on the assist spectrum in my career. I'm on set pieces, so I think if I can get double figures for assists, that would be a great start. I definitely need to chip in with a few goals, though. Like, if I can get 5, I would be delighted with that. Like, it depends where I'm playing and how the team is doing, and I just want to be part of a successful team. Like, I'm at the stage in my career where I just like winning football games, and I'm not too fussed if my name's on the score sheet. Only a vital save by Portsmouth keeper Will Norris denied Honeyman in the second half at Fratton Park, just 3 days after seeing a shot hit the woodwork against Watford before his follow-up shot was scrambled off the line. He recalled, "Oh, it was the same thing on Saturday. I went across my body and the keeper just got a tiny flick onto the post, and then there was the rebound. Then obviously seeing the ball coming out tonight, like, it was a great pick out by Romanis, and I think it was on my mind a little bit not to go across my body again, so I tried to go back against it, and I got good contact, but just not accurate enough. I'm obviously gutted." Honeyman added, "I know I can provide a lot more in terms of goals and assists for the club, but the gaffer was saying to me, I'm getting into the positions, and if I keep getting in them, they will come. Having been on the wing, and maybe I was also used to a bit more defensively for Millwall, I'm not really felt that I've been getting the scoring opportunities, which I've been fine with, but whatever it takes for the team. But if I keep getting in there, I'm sure the goals will start coming, because I've done it in my career before, so it's not like I can't do it. I've just got to get that confidence of hitting the back of the net." Indeed. Hopefully you score at the weekend and the floodgates will open. Obviously, they had a bit of an interview, the Southern News, with George Honeyman, because here we go again. Another piece with George Honeyman. So Honeyman praises Massey after Mill starting debut at Pompey. George Honeyman says he isn't remotely surprised by Alfie Massey's emergence into the Lions first team, set up following Tuesday night's debut at Portsmouth. The young midfielder was handed his first senior start on the South Coast, and it proved to be a winning one for the 18-year-old thanks to Romanis' decisive early goal, which set up a second-round home tie with Leyton Orient in a fortnight. Massey played 64 minutes on the big night at Fratton Park, and his more experienced teammate felt it was an excellent display from the academy graduate. Honeyman said, "Oh, do you know what? Like, he's been with us all pre-season, and at the start, I didn't think he was down to be with us, to be honest. And he was just that impressive with his attitude and his professionalism. Like, he's absolutely earned that debut. And it's not been given to him, because of a lack of numbers or anything like that. Well, he's absolutely earned the right to play, and that's kind of what I said to him. I said, you deserve to be here, and you've earned the right, and just do what you've been doing." And it's just a few more people watching instead of out at the training ground. And I thought he was brilliant. Like, I was really proud of him. Honeyman laughed when asked if he would be claiming an assist for Mill's winner after SA took the ball off him before scoring. Oh, I wouldn't count that as an assist," he replied. "I'm happy to make the tackle to get us back in possession. Like, I didn't even see him coming. Like, he just came out of nowhere and did his bit of magic, which he's capable of, and it turned out to be the winner. And I was really proud of the young lads, Ado, Rom and Alfie making his debut, and they all put in a performance to be proud of, in a Millwall shirt." Indeed, indeed, indeed. There you go. George Honeyman. Reminder, George Honeyman, his contract is up at the end of the season. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I think he wants a new one. I think he desperately wants a new one. Now, on to the funny business with Celtic. Obviously, if you've been following the Millwall news today, you've been hearing a lot about what I told you in yesterday's video, which was this. If you follow the channel and you watch the videos when they come out or close after, I told you that the Daniel Kelly deal, which will go through in January, because he's a free agent in January, that there was some kind of talks between Millwall and Celtic about doing a deal, and the numbers are apparently £275,000 that Millwall have offered, and Celtic want £500,000 with extra sell-on bonuses. So there you go. So what is going on? Well, there is a thing called FIFA training compensation. So he is coming for free. He's not coming for free. We have to pay for him. It's the rules that FIFA brought in terms of they struck a deal with, I think, the with, what did you call them? European Union. So they struck a deal with the European Union after the Bosman ruling, which came through the European Union, which is where any player who's out of contract, he's free and easy. He can just leave and go. So they struck this deal, and the FIFA regulations on the status and transfer of players, RSTP, and you now have to pay compensation, because what happened then was a lot of clubs in the Western world and the rich countries in the world would go to the poorer countries and just take the players for literally £0 and 0 pence, because they're out of contract. It's free, innit? That's what you wanted. So the players, obviously, who put it? Obviously, Mark Bosman, the most famous one was Sol Campbell. Went on a free. He ran his contract out, and it was like big outroar. It was like, bro, he had a contract. The contract, like, he signed for 2 years. He served these 2 years. That's how it works. Like, that's it, done. He can move where he wants. But we now have a situation where they put rules and regulations on certain players, which means it's a free player isn't free if they are under a certain age. So there you go. So this is from sportsagentinstitute.com. There's loads of information about this. So training compensation is a vital aspect of FIFA's regulations aimed at ensuring fair rewards for clubs that invest in the training and development of young players. These rules are part of the RSTP and are designed to promote the development of football talent globally by compensating clubs for their efforts and investments. Aha! Training compensation is a vital aspect of FIFA's regulations aimed at ensuring fair rewards for clubs that invest in the training and development of young players. These rules are part of the FIFA regulations on the status and transfer of players and are designed to promote development of football talent globally by compensating clubs for their efforts and investments. That's literally the same thing twice. Did AI write this? Training compensation is a financial payment made to players' former clubs when the player signs his first professional contract or when he is transferred between clubs of different associations before the end of the season of his 23rd birthday. Aha, you see? So why is there such a rush for all of these clubs over the world in England and elsewhere to sign up young players? Because you get some money for them afterwards. And this goes from the age of 12 to the age of 23. From 12. So if you were registered as a 12-year-old to a football club, it's not even football clubs, and that's another reason why you keep seeing these academies pick up, academies starting. So obviously back in the day you had like a local team, like Dulwich Village or whatever, some local team, yeah? And you would play for them in the Selkent League or wherever. Now you've got these academies that are private academies, and the reason why is because they've registered with the FA and they snap up all these 12 to 21 year olds or whatever, and if they go on to do anything, they get compensation for the rest of that player's career. It's hardwired into the rules, and if there's a transfer between a 23rd birthday, they get even more money. Training compensation is due when a player signs his first professional contract. So if you've got an amateur player that then signs a pro contract. So as soon as he does that, every club that he's been at has to get some kind of compensation of various amounts. So it's literally not free. The only way you can literally get a free player is if you have a football player who somehow gets really good at football, but has never registered with a club at all, but somehow plays. So if he just plays as a trialist every week, wherever you can do that, and then he waits until he's 18 and he signs his professional contracts, no compensation. A professional is transferred between clubs of different associations, so that means the FA, the Football Association of England, the SFA, Scottish Football Association, which is the case with Daniel Kelly to Millwall, the SFA to the FA, before the end of the season of his 23rd birthday. The compensation is calculated based on the cost of training and educating players in the country where the new club is located. FIFA will provide guidelines and categories to determine these costs. It is a fixed cost. It is literally German club. That's a professional club. This is the entire Western world. So there's a compensation for clubs in UEFA, for clubs in CONMEBOL, for clubs in CONCACAF, and it's like various amounts. But the most, I believe, is a Category 1 club in UEFA. Compensation is payable for the years between the player's 12th and 21st birthdays. Yes, that is why everyone is scrambling to sign up all these players. And there is a solidarity mechanism. So in addition to training compensation, the solidarity mechanism ensures that a percentage of any future transfer fee is distributed to the clubs involved in the players' training and development. And obviously, this is again why we've seen such a growth in basically kids who are playing football being treated like Pokemon cards, being signed up and bought and all of that, is because as soon as you sign that player, and then even if you get rid of him, because he's been at your club for 1 season, 2 seasons, for the rest of that player's footballing career, if he does happen to come back and make it big, or even if not, 5% of the transfer fee is split between every club that he's played at from the 12th to the 21st birthday. So literally, let's say £100 million player like Declan Rice. 5% of that will then be shared between all of his previous clubs that he was at between 12 and 21. 5%. So 5% of 100 million. Wow, that's a lot of money if you're literally some kind of dog and duck team. That's why we saw yesterday when I told you that Millwall signed a player from Burnham FC. Burnham FC are going, oh yeah, this is great, thank you so much, this is brilliant. Because they've probably got, like, they're on a shoestring budget with amateur players. This guy goes off, Millwall come in, sign him on his first professional contract, compensation. And then going forward, solidarity. So they've got money out of nowhere for bringing him on for, a year or two. And that's, this is what's happening. And this is why this situation is what it is, and why we've seen what we've seen. And why we're seeing a lot of, obviously there are rules, like I said. Another thing as well, I don't know if you know about Danny Ings and other players. It went to a tribunal, and because of the absolute amazing amounts of money in the Premier League, they were shook about how much compensation they had to pay for Danny Ings. It was like 4 million or something, and the whole industry then went, "Oh my God, what's going on?" And that's why we've seen players like clubs in the FA, so clubs in England, not signing out of contract players from another English team because they couldn't afford the tribunal fee. But if they get a youngster from Scotland, if they get a youngster from Ireland, if they get a youngster from another country, it's a fixed fee. There is no tribunal. There is no, this might end up costing us a lot of money. It's a fixed fee. They know what they're going to pay. Examples of training compensation. John Doe is 18 years old. He's been at 2 clubs from the age of 12 to 15. Club A, Club B, 16 to 18. Club C is in a different association. So he's been training in one country with 2 clubs. He goes to another country. According to FIFA regulations, Club C must pay training compensation to both Club A and Club B. Training costs. Let's assume the training costs in Club C's country are $10,000 per year. So, in UEFA, the training compensation is priced in euros. For the rest of the world, it's priced in dollars. So that affects it as well. So if you have a weak dollar, we can go and get players because the dollar is weak against our currency. That's probably why you're seeing so many Japanese players coming in and other players. That's, you know what I mean. So the club, you can see here, it's been 30k, so it's 10k each year. Therefore, club C owes a total of 60,000 in training compensation to be distributed between club A and club B. So that's the first professional contract. A transfer between the age of 23. Club X and Club Y, 12 to 18 and 19 to 21. And then he goes to a club in a different country. Club Z must pay training compensation to both Club X and Club Y. Well, how much is it? So let's assume the training costs in Club Z's country are $15,000 per year. The total compensation for Club X and Club Y, 90k, 45k. Therefore, Club Z owes a total of $135,000 in training compensation to be distributed between Club X and Club Y. The training compensation ensures the clubs are incentivized to invest in youth development. It helps smaller clubs, which often function as nurseries for young talent, to sustain their operations to continue developing future football stars. This system also promotes competitive balance by supporting clubs that might not have the financial power to retain their young talents, but contribute significantly to their development. Indeed, but when you have clubs that come in, they sign a player for 1 year, then let him go, and then they're getting money. Well, how did they develop his career if he was only there for 1 season? Like, really? And then he goes off. Maybe goes off to a non-league club or some other club, works his way back up, gets himself a really good pro deal. That other club then gets paid for. They didn't really. He did it himself. You know what I mean? Or the non-league club after did it. So, mastering training compensation for the FIFA exam. Yeah, a lot of these, there's a new FIFA agents exam that a lot of people are trying to pass. So this is what's going on. So that's, they cite their sources. So that's just a touch of it. So this is more detailed from passerlaw.com. It's an American website. The sport of soccer, otherwise known as football in other countries, is becoming more and more popular in the United States. The rise in its popularity is the rise in players' transfers from the United States to other countries and vice versa. FIFA oversees and has developed a set of rules related to player transfers. These rules include how clubs who invested millions into their players can be compensated once those players are transferred. The rules did not apply to US players because the Major League Soccer had not yet recognised these rules. In April 2019 that changed. MLS confirmed it will apply with the FIFA rules. What FIFA regulations on transfer players? We've just mentioned them. So training compensation is one form of compensation. The FIFA rules allow the payment may be required at 2 different times of the player's professional career. As mentioned, an international transfer or the first time registering as a professional. We've gone through all of this. Different clubs have different financial values according to the confederation to which it belongs and the calibre of the training, the latter of which is indicated by the category attributed to the club. There are 6 confederations under 4 categories of clubs. These categories are based on the financial investment each club spends on their players. Category 1 is reversed for the highest calibre, while Category 4 is the least. FIFA provides a chart to indicate what compensation may have involved according to the respective confederation and respective category. So these are the chart. This is the chart I told you about. Now this was the last updated in 2019. It hasn't kept up with inflation because that's a hell of a lot of inflation in 5 years. So UEFA from one UEFA to another, from Scotland to England, €90,000 per year. So this lad was at Celtic, which category 1. We assume it's category 1. Now I'm thinking that these categories, so if Millwall's Academy, I think we are category 2. So we are category 2, I believe. We're not category 1 because we don't have the proper training ground to be a category 1. But if we did, we would probably get even more money for the players that get poached off us at the moment. So 90,000 per season. This is per season, by the way. From the age of 12 to 21. So you're wondering why clubs are signing up players from 12 years old. I think they're signing them up before that, actually. But from 12 years old. So Chelsea, they sign a 12-year-old player. if he leaves, they get €90,000 for every year he's been at the club. That's if he leaves on the free. That's without a transfer fee. This is compensation. So even though he's a free agent and his contract's up, he can't just walk off into the thin air. He can't just go away. So in terms of Millwall situation, Daniel Kelly at Celtic for 2 years, I think maybe 1.5 years. I don't know if they do half years or they just round it up to the whole season. So let's say 2 years. That's €180,000 that we have to pay Celtic in compensation. And then obviously he was at a club before. So what club was he at before the age of 12? I'm assuming it's probably a category 4. So was he 18? So he's been at 2 years, 16. So from 12, another 4 years. Let's say another 40k to other clubs down the line. So for this free agent player, Millwall having to pay €220,000. So that's how much a free player costs these days. And that's insane. Like that, this kind of it's literally indentured servitude at this stage. That an 18-year-old man can be a free agent, and he can't just go and sign a contract with another club, because that club would then have to pay hundreds of thousands of pounds in compensation to the other club, unless they waive it away. That is insane. That is insane to me. That's literally like, I understand where they're coming from. Obviously, they spent all this money on the academy, but when you're signing a player for a season and you're cutting him adrift, how much are you really developing for real? So yeah. Now here we get onto solidarity payments. So solidarity payments are those that occur when a football player is still in contract but is transferred between different jurisdictions. So this is a transfer fee. Clubs pay transfer fees and up to 5% of this fee. So it's an automatic 5%, but it's not 5% per club. Obviously a sell-on fee. So 5% of the transfer fee is a sell-on fee for every single club combined, and they share it between them. It says is withheld to be used as solidarity payments. Solidarity payments are distributed to all clubs that train the player between his 12th and 23rd birthdays at a proportional rate depending on how long the player was at each club. Solidarity payments do not stop at the player's 23rd birthday, like the training compensation payments do, but continue through the course of the player's professional career each time he is transferred while under contract. So yeah, this is the thing. If you are a player now, this is like killing players' careers. They get to the age of 21, because it's an under 21 league. They get cut by the professional club. A professional club can't sign them because they can't afford to sign them, and that player then has to wait till they're 24, because then the training compensation will be run out, and they can't claim for it. So as soon as they're 24, but in order to do that, they have to go into the non-league. So they have to go into the non-league, spend 2 years there, and then they can come back and sign for a professional team if they're still good enough. And the only thing that has to get paid is a solidarity payment if there's a transfer fee. Continue for the course of the player's professional career until he's transferred while under contract. So this solidarity payment goes. So if we sold, I don't know if it's grandfathered in or if there's a cut-off date or when it was. So if we sold like Tom Bradshaw to Wrexham for like a nominal fee, like 100k, whatever, every club that he's been at from the age of 12 to 23 would get 5% of that. And this is how this business works now. This is why everyone's like clamoring to sign up all these youngsters, and then we cut them and sign a new bunch of youngsters, and cut them, sign a new bunch of youngsters. Because as soon as that player's been in your academy, he's got that tag on him, and apparently the clubs have literal like passports now, not like passports as in where they've been throughout their career, so that the clubs know, okay, I have to pay this club this much, this club this much, this club this much. Transfer fees are usually not disclosed, but can be in the millions. Reportedly, they have been high as €222 million. So solidarity payments will vary. But to recap, solidarity payments are determined by withholding 5% of transfer fee and dividing that amount proportionally among all players, all clubs that the player trained at between the ages of 12 and 23. So, for example, using Fred in the above example, if he's transferred from a club in Germany to a club in Spain while still under contract with the club in Germany, the Spanish club will pay a transfer fee. If that transfer fee is equivalent to €8 million, then 5% is set aside, $400,000. Fred's first academy, where he spent 2 years, would receive $100K, and the second academy, where he spent 6 years, would receive $300K. So that's why they're doing it. Like, they're getting money. They're getting paid out. What is the purpose of training, compensation, and solidarity mechanism payments? Southern California is home to 2 Major League Soccer teams and 1 USL team. The prospect of transferring players to teams in other countries is greater today than at every other time in history. For example, Christian Pulisic, an American soccer player, was transferred to Chelsea FC at the start of 2019 for a sum of $71 million. His early training was primarily at PA Classics, an American training academy, but this academy did not benefit from its investment in Pulisic's training. The academy could have received an estimated $500,000 through FIFA if the US complied with the rules. As it is in April 2019, the MLS confirmed that it would start complying with the FIFA regulations reported by USA Today. So there you go. I bet they're gutted about that. So this is what's going on with that Scottish player. Free players are not free unless they're over the age of 24. That is insane. That is bizarre. But here's the thing: why would you sign a player from non-league at the age of 24? That's why they're not doing it, because it's by that time you even know if they're good enough or they're not. And then once you sign them, if you sign a 24-year-old from non-league, what have they got? They've got 6 years left, like barely any time left. So there you go. Now, moving on we're going to finish the video with this. It's the stats from the Portsmouth game, which I forgot to put in yesterday's video because I was so excited about the Leyton Orient Carabao Cup draw. No, not really. It just took so bloody long. Was it like 11 o'clock at night when the draw was finally done? So yeah. This is from whoscored.com. As you can see here, they have narrowly given Romain Esse man of the match, 7.7. Obviously, this is based on ratings, pure ratings, not any judgment. It's just the numbers. Interestingly, the most shots were from a Portsmouth player, a centre-back, and you can see 4 shots from Portsmouth were from centre-backs, which is not really what you want, but obviously they had those corners, and that's how they were trying to score. If we go back into the middle and look at the stats in the middle, you can see attempts on goal 9 to 8, 5 to 6, open play 4 to 2 set piece, and that means Mill's 1 goal from 8 shots is a 12% conversion rate. If we go down, you can see the attack sides. Mill will mostly going down the right hand side, which was where Damian Maka was for most of the time. It wasn't really that hot set in stone. There was a bit of switching sides between the 2 players, which is good. I like to see that. It reminds me back in the day under Mark McGee. In terms of shot directions, yeah, again you can see the shots from the right hand side. Shot zones, all of Millwall shots are in the 18-yard box. Good stuff. Get in the box, get the shot away. Action zones. So not a lot of the action in our final third, which is weird for an away team. It's usually not the case. Player positions. Obviously, Portsmouth doing a weird one. Don't know what's going on. So obviously, this is the average player position, which is just for the starting 11. They don't include the substitutes, but you can see here. Number 5 is Jake Cooper. Number 45 is Wes Harding. Number 2 is Danny Mack. Number 15, Joe Bryan. 44, Alfie Massey. So Alfie Massey being told to sit back, and Casper Noor, the one going forward. And you can see pretty kind of like Orion's belt. If you look up in the sky, you can see that those stars that are in a line. That is our stars in a line right there. Number 22, Adomi Omaku. 39, George Honeyman. Number 25, Romain Esse. And Langstaff, quite far cut adrift and not really doing anything. And Portsmouth, not really. Where's the striker? Where's Portsmouth striker? I don't know. You can see the players playing on top of each other, probably trying to overload Millwall, trying to get the ball off them. I don't know. Very unusual. Now, moving on to the match centre. You can see, obviously, George Honeyman with the assist. Very gracious of them to give him an assist. Like I said, he didn't assist anyone. Romain Esse took the ball off of him. Luckily, as we've heard earlier, no blood between them. No love lost between George Honeyman and Romain Esse for Romain Esse doing that. Obviously, if he would have missed the goal, maybe it would have been a different story. And then a yellow card for them at half time, and the raft of substitutions, this time on the 65th minute, which is obviously 5 minutes later than normal. And then Duncan Watmore comes on for Adomi Omaku. They make a couple of subs trying to get back into the game. We bring on a defender for a midfielder and try to see the game out, and indeed we do. Even though there was like 6 minutes of injury time. Now, if you look at the top left and the top right by the club badges, you can see the average player rating for Portsmouth is 6.39 and the average player rating for Millwall is 6.79. So Millwall were the better team. That's quite clear to see. If you look at it, you can see Romain Esse 7.7 man of the match, Jay Cooper 7.7, and then you can see basically quite a few sevens there. Langstaff 6.2. And that's because we'll see in a minute, he didn't really do anything other than moving his body around on the pitch. So, worrying, we heard a quote from Neil Harris the other day saying they're teaching him how to play in the Championship, which, if they're trying to basically make him the new Tom Bradshaw in terms of just running around, then what's the point? He's literally a goal machine, and you've turned him into a donkey that just runs around. Yeah, that's... Could you not have just signed someone else to do that? Why would you sign someone who scores a lot of goals to do that? Doesn't really make sense. It seems like they're training the goals out of him, which I hope isn't the case. The keeper got booked, 6.3 for Roberts, so the lowest rated player of the starting 11 was Langstaff with 6.2. If we go down and we can see, so those are the ratings. If we click on this, we can see the total shots. These are the players who had shots. So Maku with 2, Esse with 2, Massey with 1, Honeyman with 1. Interesting. Obviously, you can see that most of their shots come from the defenders. 3 from Taylor, 1 for Ogilvie, and 1 from Williams. Possession, they had more of the possession, 63.6, and we got 36.64, which is, as you saw, as mentioned after the Watford game. Generally, when we win a game, we don't have the possession. That's not how we win games. So obviously, we don't have a lot of possession in this game. We won the game. It seems to be the way we play. Some kind of rope-a-dope, let them have the ball, let them play it around, and then nick it off them and score. And you can see this is the possession in terms of percentage of time that the ball was in play. And if you look at Towler for Portsmouth, 8.7% of the minutes was with the ball at his feet. So they were just passing it around at the back because he's passing it to the other defenders who are also quite high. not really doing anything with it. That's not how you win football games. You need to go forward with the ball. Pass success percentage 78 to 64. Langstaff with 100, but obviously he did come off, and I don't think he touched the ball that much. So I wonder how many passes he actually got off. Harding 59. Emaku 50. Interesting. And Roberts 37, which is normal for a Millwall goalkeeper. Obviously, Jensen's was quite high the other day at 48, but this is 37. So dribbles 10 to 4. Of course, Emaku and Esse, that's what they do. They can run with the ball. Watmore as well, but he come off the bench, didn't really do anything. Didn't do any dribbles. Aerials won 24 to 19. So obviously, when you have a team that plays it around at the back, they're not really pumping it long, so we don't have that many opportunities to win aerial duels until obviously the corners when they tried to score. Cooper winning 4 aerials, Esse winning 2. Interesting. Esse's not the tallest, but he still won 2 aerials. Tackles 13 to 30. So I wonder if that was a conscious effort then to put Esse on that side, because Swanson didn't win any aerials. If Swanson is a right back and he's quite small, I don't really remember if he was that small. But then you put Esse up against him. So if whichever of the fullbacks is the more bigger, you put Emaku on that side, and whichever of them is the smaller, you put Esse on that side. Maybe that's the way to go in the future, coming up. Tackles 13 to 30. Obviously, if they've got the ball, we need to tackle them to get it, and we did that 30 times. Honeyman with 3. Emaku with 7. Impressive. McNamara, he wasn't even on the pitch for 90 minutes. McNamara 4. Harding didn't have a tackle to make. Massey made 4 as well. So corners 10 to 4. So these are the players who won corners, not the players who took the corners. Emaku again. If we need to score from set pieces, you get a player who can run down the wing and get you a corner. That's what you want. Dispossessed, having the ball taken off of you, 19 to 12. Obviously, we did that a lot more to them than they did to us. Now, finishing with this, it's a list. And as we can see, I've sorted it. Shots from Portsmouth. This is Portsmouth. Shots on target. Not a 1. So, Roberts didn't have to save to make, which, in terms of who's going to be in goal in the next game, I think it's going to be Jensen again. Because even though he did make 2 mistakes in the last game, 1 mistake in the game before that, Roberts wasn't really tested at all, and he can't really, I don't think, stake a claim to be in the side. Now the real insane move would be to put Truman in goal, but even if putting Truman on the bench would be insane, because he did play out of his skin in that under-21s game against Burnley. If you haven't seen it, check out the highlights on Millwall FC's website. But yeah, Roberts didn't have a save to make. No shots on target. Talking of shots on target, Mill shots on target. Obviously, was it 8? So they had 8 shots, 2 on target. So that's underperforming, but of the 2 on target, 1 of them was a goal. So that's performing. So slightly under what you should be getting, in my opinion. This is a formula. If you haven't heard it, however many shots you have, half of them should be on target and half of them should be goals. So we had 8 shots, should have had 4 on target, and which should have given us 2 goals. But to get 2 shots on target and to get 1 goal out of that, that's pretty decent still. So in terms of the rating, how close was it? 0.01. Romain Esse 7.67 and Jake Cooper 7.66. Aidomu Emaku, remember, playing 73 minutes, got the 3rd highest with 7.13, just above Danny McNamara 7.1, and Wes Harding 7.05, and Alfie Massey on his debut getting 7.01 again, only having played 64 minutes on the pitch. So there you go, the lowest rated player. Duncan Watmore didn't really have much to do, 20 minutes on the pitch, 6.02. Macaulay Langstaff had 8 touches of the ball. So yeah, let's go to touches of the ball. Danny Mack was 61, Cooper 50, Harding 41, Honeyman 41, Denor 40, So there you go. That's pretty decent. Offense, no results displayed. Defense, it's done that thing again. I have to reload the page. I have to go and see. Offsides. George Honeyman. Unscheduled touches. And key passes. This is why he's in the team. A lot of people can't see this. They keep moaning. Key passes, 3 of them. Romain Esse. He has vision. He can see into the future. He can see into the future. He can calculate the angles and the physics involved in terms of a moving object and running into space. Namely, that moving object hopefully being Macaulay Langstaff, and he can pick out a pass, and that's why he's in the team. Is he going to be practically perfect all the time? No, he's not, because if he was practically perfect all the time, he would be playing for a Premier League team, and he's not. He's playing for Millwall, who are in the Championship. It could be a Premier League team next season if Romain Esse does perform to his abilities. So there you go. That's why he's in the team. 3 key passes in one game. Defense, tackles, 7. Adomo Maku. The outside right had 7 tackles, which is more than any other player in Millwall's squad. I think it's any more than any other player on the pitch. Then Danny Mack with 4, Alfie Massey with 4. Not bad for a debut. Obviously, everyone's getting involved with the tackles. I think everyone had a tackle except for the goal, except for Wes Harding, and except for the goalkeeper and Langstaff. Again, Langstaff didn't really do much. Hopefully, hopefully that's not interceptions. Wes Harding. So that's what he was doing. He was doing the interceptions, not the tackling. Alfie Massey with 2. So these are good numbers from Alfie Massey. 4 tackles, 2 interceptions, 1 clearance, 1 block shot. Gave away 1 foul. Not bad. George Saville, though. Everyone's complaining about George Saville. George Saville came onto the pitch in the 64th minute, replacing Alfie Massey. So Alfie Massey had 2/3 of the match at the time on the pitch. George Saville had the other third of the same position. It was a like for like. Look what George Saville did in the third of the match time. 2 tackles, 2 interceptions, 3 clearances. There's life in old dog yet. Clearances, Jake Cooper with 8, Wes Harding with 4, George Saville with 3, Danny Mack with 3, Sean Hutchinson with 3. Obviously that's what he was there to do. Blocked shots, Jake Cooper with 3, Wes Harding 1, Alfie Massey with 1. So that's why the keeper didn't have a save to make. Like Neil Harris said, good defending. They had 4 shots. The defence blocked them. They didn't let it get through to the goalkeeper, so he didn't have a save to make. That's what it was. So passing. How many passes did Langstaff get? Because he had 100%. 4. Oh dear. He had 4. But you're moaning about him. Look what Tom Bradshaw had, like before. So Macaulay Langstaff was on the pitch for 63 minutes. Tom Bradshaw replaced him on the 63rd minute. So one of those 2 players had 2/3 of the time on the pitch. The other had the other third. We're dividing into 30, 60, 90, etc. Langstaff, one key pass. Langstaff had 1 key pass, 4 passes, 100% accuracy. 1 cross wasn't accurate. Bradshaw only had 1 pass. That's all he had, and that wasn't accurate. So he had 1 misplaced pass. Ah dear. I do hope we see Macaulay Langstaff start against Bristol City. I do hope that is the case. So let's go up to the top. The most passes was 34 from Jake Cooper, 31 from Danny Mack, and 29 from Gasper Lenore. Obviously, we saw earlier that he was the one pushing forward with the 2 midfielders, and the passing accuracy on that wasn't that high. In terms of any player that had a large amount, these are not good numbers. Why was the passing so off? Were they being pressured by the Portsmouth players. We saw in the graphic before when they were bunched up. Maybe they were trying to do a bit of a press themselves. Don't know. But yeah, these are not good numbers. And no one made it to 80%. Well, Langstaff had 100, but 4 passes, come on. So no one made it to 80%, which is usually the standard set by Billy Mitchell, who he's quite accurate with his passing. And I imagine that's because Casper Denor was playing further forward and making more risky passes. So his accuracy was down to 72. Crosses and accurate crosses, 3 and 0 for Honeyman, 2 and 1 for Brian, 2 and 0 for Danny Mack and Adomu. George Saville, 1 and 1. Long balls and accurate long balls. So the goalkeeper had 27 passes, 24 long balls, so 3 short passes. So unlike Jensen, so we've got a situation like last season, this season before, whatever. George Long being the one who can play with the ball at his feet, which is the Jensen, and Biakovsky is the Roberts. He's not really one who plays it with the ball at his feet. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, that about sums it up from the game the other day. See what you see, say what you say. And on that note, thank you for watching, and goodbye.